Alright, what up everybody? Happy season opening day. I drew somebody playing as the Jets, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, as always, once again, I'm PJ, that's Zach, aka Excabandai. What up, man?
What's up?
Yeah, not much. So, yeah, it feels kind of like Christmas right now with the new season opening up again, don't it?
It does. Pretty excited.
Yeah, especially the excitement is
Does.
definitely more noticeable after Parsons got traded, like, over to us.
Yeah, it's probably the least excited I've ever had, but
Yeah.
um or I should say the least excited I've ever said excited. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Um it'll be nice to have Love healthy, hopefully. I know he's got the thumb issue that he had surgery on. I mean, it beats the lower leg injuries that he had for a good portion of last season. So, I'll be interested to see if he finally kind of takes that next step that everyone's hoping he'll take, or everyone minus the Lions, Bears, Vikings fans. What a block.
Yeah, good play. Yeah, this
Parsons.
this is actually this is actually the first Madden online head-to-head match I've had of the season because I specifically wanted to wait until week 1 of the season going. So for those that haven't followed on the channel, normally I'm about if you put me in 10 different games, I'll win about approximately 6 of them. So usually about 600 winning percentage. And I'll
Nice pass
take,
block.
yeah, I saw him crossing over the middle with that damn the mesh spot. That play used to get me all the time on Madden 25. So let me be safe and see if he actually punts or not. But yeah, I mean, you know, this week's game for the Packers is going to be a big one with the division rivals, Detroit. First home game in the LaFleur era to start off, the season too. So that's going to be interesting. But should be a lot of energy in the stadium, especially first couple games too, because we got the Sterling Sharp induction in week 2, which back-to-back home games to start off. Ooh. I should have slowed down before I cut back to the left. But yeah, I mean, this is for my family. I don't know how many people actually call it this, but it's Super Bowl basically, because it's how big of a significance it is to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And yeah, Green Bay all-time leads 106, 78, and 7. But Detroit's been that annoying team that's kind of had our number lately. I think under Campbell, they were like 6-2 against us. So
Yeah, they've
yeah,
taken 6 of the last 8.
yeah, so, this is kind of the game to kind of set the tone, hopefully show that the Packers are going to be taken back to the division this year a little bit. Yeah, I mean, going into this game, even though Love had the thumb injury, he's going to be good to go this week. Jenkins is back. He doesn't have an injury designation going into it. 7 players have questionable marks for Green Bay, so that's going to be Hobbs at starting corner. Parsons is questionable, but he's expected to play. I was waiting for the curl, making sure he wasn't jumping it. I'm gonna punt right back. But yeah, Jaden Reed is got the foot injury going on right now. Wicks has a little bit of a calf injury, so
Yeah,
we'll
a little
see.
banged up.
Yeah,
Wide receiver especially.
yeah. So we'll see. Matthew Golden probably very early into his tenure as a Packer, maybe receiver number 1 based off the unofficial depth chart. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
we don't really have much of a choice.
yeah, and then the Lions, not nearly as banged up necessarily, but I think they have 3 ruled out. They're all technically backups. I have the list here. I'm just trying to make sure I get through that play. They got Jamarco Jones, who's out with the ankle injury. Nowaski, who's their backup linebacker. He's got the elbow injury. And then Vaki, the backup running back. He's got, I believe... I don't remember exactly what it is now off the top of my head. Sorry about that. I think it was a knee injury, but can't 100% remember. I just know he plays a lot of special teams for them, so there's basically 2 guys that are going to be needing to be replaced on special teams for the Lions this week. So I don't know if there's any roster elevations because we're recording this like not too long after some college football games today. I'm hyped up because my Seminoles, actually set the team record for margin of victory against East Texas A&M, and you know, USF decided to go knock off the Gator, so I'm happy about that too. But yeah, I'll turn this one over to Zach. How you feeling going into the game?
I'm always nervous going into the first game of the season because especially our starters barely practice in or barely play in the preseason games, so they're always rusty. Like, you know, last year against the Eagles, you know, they kind of started strong, but as the game wore on, you know, the sloppiness kind of shone through from their, you know, lack of game reps. That and the turf was kind of terrible for
There we go.
football. Nice interception.
Yo, hopefully
Um,
Cooper can do that a lot this year.
but you know, I'm nervous for sure, but I feel at least comfortable with where the roster is right now. You know, the defense seems overall like they'll be better than last year, at least on paper. Um, like you mentioned, Hobbs, it seems like he may not play because he really hasn't practiced much. I think he practiced
Yeah, he got
what
in like last couple days and stuff.
I think he practiced Thursday, Friday. That was it. He hasn't practiced in weeks. So it's unlikely that he'll play. But he wasn't on the team last year. So, I mean, as far as comparing it to last year's defense, we're not losing anything there yet. Parsons is probably going to be on some sort of a snap count.
Yeah, I saw a report that he's supposed to be on a snap count, which we kind of expected anyways coming into it since he didn't.
You know, and hopefully the defense in total holds them to, you know, 40, 50 plays. And if he plays for about half of those, I think that'd be, you know, decent start. I'm interested if the snap count has more to do with his injury or more to do with his lack of playbook knowledge. Hopefully it's the latter.
Yeah.
And that they're not concerned about the injury. But I guess unless Matt LaFleur tells us, we're not really going to know. And I don't see him telling us. From an offensive standpoint, wide receivers banged up. We just talked about that. But as long as Love is healthy and clicking, you know, the offensive line seems like it's going to be pretty solid. You know, Josh Jacobs is a beast. I'm feeling pretty good. You know, them having two new coordinators on offense and defense is kind of a wild card because, you know, Dan Campbell is a constant and that team is going to be prepared. And the sloppiness that we saw from the Lions in preseason, I don't expect to carry over to the starters.
Yeah.
Because their starters didn't play much. But, I mean, I don't guess we'll really know until the game starts. I haven't done a vibe check to see if Lions fans are kind of concerned with their lack of preseason play.
Yeah, I was gonna say with some of the Lions fans that I've checked in with, they seem to be not really super concerned about that. The concerns, the concerns more so right now, seemingly how they're gonna deal with their offensive line, that was gonna be one of my points to focus on later on. So I'll talk about that then.
Yeah, I mean, with the wild card and the coordinators, you know, I'm confident that our coaching staff knows who these guys are and kind of has an idea of how they're gonna, you know, do their thing. But, you know, there's still question marks because I don't know. I don't know what their tendencies are. You know, obviously last year, you know, they ran the ball a lot. They focused on the running game a lot. But, you know, Amon-Ra still got his touches. You know, it's not like they just abandoned the pass to go to the run. You know, how is that going to break down this year? And obviously, Amon-Ra is a great wide receiver, as much as I don't want to believe it. He is. You know, they have great running backs. They have great tight end. You know, they do have question marks at, you know, offensive line this year due to injuries and retirements. But, you know, it's, you know, how does the defense adjust? We'll see. And, you know, same side of the ball of the offense, how do they adjust to the defensive coordinator and how he wants to play defense? I know when we played them, I believe it was in the second game last year, their starting defensive tackle went down partway through the game, and they had a guy that was a low draft pick or undrafted. I don't remember exactly. And he just bullied our offensive line and stuffed so many interior runs. I, hopefully we can. What is this guy doing?
Just trying to run away, I guess, and throw it out of play.
He broke my train of thought. But we'll see how the offense adjusts to the new calls and the players. The Lions are a good team. There's no doubt about it. As much as I don't want them to be a good team, they are a good team. Dan Campbell is stuck with the process, and he's a very motivational guy, and he's a person that's hard to dislike.
Apparently, he didn't score on that.
How did he not score on that?
I have no idea.
Okay. But yeah, I expect them to be incredibly disciplined as usual, and that's usually one reason I think they've beaten us so much in the last 4 seasons is they're just better disciplined than we are.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's an age thing because they are a little more veteran team because of some of the players that they've acquired and signed. And we seem to magically be the youngest team in the league nearly every year.
Yeah, 3 straight seasons running at opening day.
But you can't, at the end of the day, it's the same coaching staff. And yeah, the average age of the roster might be getting younger, but we still have veterans, and you would expect those veterans to not make some of the mistakes that they've made the last couple of years. So you should have kept going outside.
I should have. I messed up there.
So I don't want to say I'm confident. I have seen like the betting spreads and the expected projection, win projections and stuff, and everything is pretty much 50-50. We get a slight bump for being the home team. Pretty much everything's 50-50. On paper, these rosters are pretty even. For the Lions defensive front, it'll be interesting to see how well Hutchinson plays coming back from his injury.
Yep.
He was, if I remember correctly, he was doing like legit sprinting a few months ago.
Yeah.
So he should be, for all intents and purposes, ready to go. It's just
kind of knocking off the rust a little bit at that point.
Yeah, he's going to be game rusty. How much is he going to trust his broken leg to hold up, while he's playing? Usually when you break a bone, it heals stronger, than it was before. It's not like a ligament injury where it's, once you damage it, it's pretty much permanently fractured, or not fractured, but susceptible to re-injury, because it's a bone. But they still got good DBs. They still got good linebackers. It's a stout team. But I will not be upset if we're able to knock them off while they're still getting a feel for their coordinators. In actual game situations. And
that's kind of the one thing that's got me more optimistic than anything is we're catching them where, flip over on the offense coordinator and defense coordinator situations. They've also had to replace like 6 assistant coaches, which, complete side note too. You remember Bruce Gradkowski, the old Raiders quarterback?
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was an assistant starting this year with the Lions. I totally missed that move this year. So between him and Mark Brunell, it seems like they're collecting some of the old quarterbacks from when we were kids down to basically be on their staff now.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah, I feel that every once in a while with certain players that come up through Florida State now into the league and everything too. But, all right, I'll take the 14-7 lead there. But John Morton's the new offense coordinator in Detroit, and funny enough, he was on our offseason roster back in like '93. I had to look him up, previously, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about this dude, because obviously he didn't play for Green Bay, he didn't stick, but
I'm not even sure why you would have remembered him. You were a baby.
Dude, I used to like go through all the different training cards and like VHS tapes and just different like I still have Packer reports from back then and stuff, so like I remembered the name a little bit, but I was thinking because of, you know, him being a coordinator for the Jets and stuff in 17. So when I went to go check him, I was like, "Oh yeah, he was a Packer back then." But that's how I would have totally forgot he was a Packer if I hadn't looked it back up. But once I like remembered that, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so the only other time he was offensive coordinator was back in the college ranks, back when we were in like high school and stuff. How the hell did I get out of that?
I don't know, but it ended up being a pretty good run.
Yeah, I'll take that all day. But yeah, he was also the offense coordinator for USC back in like 08, 09, somewhere around there. And outside of that, he's mostly been kind of a offensive assistant, pass game coordinator type of person, but he was there when they set up this like kind of offensive attack in Detroit when Campbell first came there. So I'm like, he does have familiarity. I just don't know how good he is at play calling or anything like that. You know, it's one thing to kind of build the playbook, but then making sure you call certain things in the right scenarios and stuff like that. That's
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Joe Barry. You know, pretty much you look at any statistic for Joe Barry defenses, and they're almost always bad. But he was a great linebackers coach. Like his position specialty, he did good. And the linebackers for us, while he was a defensive coordinator, was one of the better groups. Even though some of those years you're like, who are these people? You know,
who are you people?
Yeah, they still put up numbers. You know, solid unit. The problem was the scheme in general just didn't work very well for us.
Bruh, I was trying to throw it upfield to Kraft, and he just did not run. That was a bad interception. The plan was, though, since Kraft was behind the defender, try to make him run up the field and try to lob it over to him, and then that didn't work. I clearly did not do it right.
Why didn't you isn't there a way to like lead the throw?
I was pushing the analog stick forward, so maybe it's just something that I am not doing well.
Clearly.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, that sucked. But yes, I mean, I'm interested to see how Morton does. I don't think there's going to be a significant drop-off on their offense.
Was that a fumble?
It was a fumble picked up by the offensive lineman and kept going. All right. But, yeah, and then they have Kelvin Shepard over there at defensive coordinator, too, now, and he's never been a coordinator from what I understand. Like, I think he's always been a linebackers coach. But he was starting to be a successful linebackers coach, so it makes sense that he's going to kind of get his first crack at it here. So, I mean, you know, it'll be interesting. I think he's going to, based off of, like, some of the press conferences I was trying to, like, look up ahead of time on this, it sounds like they're going to try to be more aggressive, and especially, you know, you got guys like Hutchinson and them, it allows you to be a little bit more aggressive at times. So I can see the Lions still being good as long as their players stay healthy, which has been a little bit more questionable lately. But
yeah, well, they're relatively healthy going into the game.
Yeah, the biggest thing for the offense for them is, you know, they had the retirement of Frank Ragnow, and then, you know, since he was like kind of their big time offense lineman that knew the books, knew what protections and stuff to call. They have Graham Glasgow going in at center, which he's played a little bit of center before. So at least he has the experience of doing it. But from my understanding from, like, you know, how Lions fans were talking about him a little bit, apparently he was a pretty solid right guard, solid center when he played back in the day, but not nearly at the same level, obviously, as Ragnow. And then, oof. I was trying to stop the run, didn't realize he hit play action there. But, yeah, I mean, you know, he's going to be a little bit of a downgrade.
Honest, I didn't realize Lazard was still in New York.
I didn't either until I was playing this during our last video and stuff and kind of looking at rosters. But, yeah, I mean, there's going to be some sort of drop-off there, and then they had a Zettler that ended up leaving, too, to go to Tennessee. So he was the starting right tackle, or excuse me, starting right guard last year. when Glasgow went to left guard, and fans were not thrilled about him being at left guard at all. So, yeah, they're going to have a rookie over there, Tate Ratledge, who he's one of the Georgia boys. Like, he was really good at SEC play. You know, he didn't really give up a whole lot of pressure, and, you know, was usually, I think he was like all SEC a couple times, and like one of the second and third team All Americans for a couple seasons. So it'll be interesting to see how Green Bay kind of attacks him, see if he can hold up decently, or if first game jitters kind of get to him and stuff, and especially if you got Micah Parsons kind of attacking you, that's got to be scary as hell for your first game.
Yeah, I mean with Parsons on a snap count, the defense with Parsons not on the field is going to need to keep them contained. You know, because they're not likely to put him on with the snap count if it's like 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I am interested
if you're trying to use him in a specialized role, at least temporarily, due to injury or lack of playbook knowledge, whatever it is, you're not going to put him in on 3rd and 1 very often unless it's like the 4th quarter. So
yeah, I think the one other thing I'm interested in during this game, one, seeing how the offensive line holds up for the Lions compared to our defense, but 2, how are we going to stop St. Brown? Because you kind of touched on that too a little bit with how good he's been. I pulled up his stats, and in 8 career games against us, he has 47 catches for 481 yards and 3 touchdowns. And there's no Jair or anything like that anymore now. And if Hobbs is also out, does Karen Valentine get there, or can they slow him down enough to not be a big deal?
Honestly, Amon-Ra is kind of like he roams around. He play him in the slot a lot. He does play in the slot a lot, but they put him outside occasionally. I would say with Hobbs out, you're looking at Keyshawn and Valentine being your CB 1 and 2 on the outside, which leaves Bullard most likely playing the slot. I highly doubt they would put Bo Melton out there, even though he would be the next CB up, because that's a big task. You got a guy that just recently converted from wide receiver to cornerback, and then you're going to put him on one of the best wide receivers in the game.
Be like, surprise, here's your new job.
Melton's fast. Maybe his speed will help him a lot, but I wouldn't expect him to cover him very well in general, because he's still adjusting to the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I know his brother's a DB, so it's not like he's completely foreign to defensive concepts as far as like actually learning them, and I'm sure that he probably played some DB in high school or something. I haven't looked it up, but I highly doubt that they are making that conversion without him having any previous experience whatsoever. Like he has some, I just haven't looked at the history to see what it is.
Not to cut you off, that was an absolutely huge first down to be able to run down this clock for the field goal.
That was not.
Don't even care.
But yeah.
Make him burn that last time out. He can't, they can't
stop this clock no more, boy.
Yeah, they can't ice me at the end or anything like that, so as long as I don't suck on the field goal attempt, I'll be alright.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted to win a game.
I was excited.
You're not allowed to be excited. It's fine. Just run the clock. Run it down.
Tick tock, tick tock. But
I guess you could snap it whenever you want. Just let it run.
Yeah. Be like, blue, go. Oh, jeez, that sucked. All right, so it's going to be a 45-yarder? Yeah, 45-yarder. I was trying to do the math based off the yard and distance, and I look up and see field goal 45 yards. So I was like, why did I just wait like that extra, second? All right, there's the timeout.
Timeout.
Before I attempt this kick, shout out to the entire special teams unit for getting contract extensions too, by the way, this season. Danny Whelan just got one, I think, since the last video that we did.
Yeah. I think so.
Might have shortchanged Nope, we're good.
Nope, hit the net. That was a flag.
Decline.
Oh,
1-0 on the online season so far. Let's go.
nice.
That was a good game, though.
It was a good game.
Shout out to Crab T3. But yeah, I guess with that, game finishing, any score predictions for this week?
In general or just our game?
Just our game. Lions and Vikings, or not Lions and Vikings, Bears and Vikings, if you'd like it as well.
The first game of the season, we're at home, we're rusty. They'll probably be a little rusty. I'm
not gonna lie, I'm trying to remember who I picked in the Bears-Vikings game right now.
I feel like the defenses should play okay, but not as well as we would think that they should.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 30-27. And because we're the home team, I'm going to pick us.
Makes sense. I
don't
30...
expect us to blow out.
Yeah, not even a little bit.
I would be surprised if they blow us out, and I'll also be very upset if they blow us out.
Yeah, I already put my prediction on Reddit earlier. I have 34-28 Packers in this one. I think it's going to be a tight battle throughout the entire game, but I just think Josh Jacobs will, do something near the end that just finally gets us over the hump for the victory. So, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, the big things for us on offense is don't drop the ball.
Yeah.
That killed us in so many games last year. And even when you look at like Love's stats, if you look at some of his advanced stats that kind of massage over the drops, he's like a top 5 to 8 in a ton of metrics. But when you look at the raw metrics, he's, more in that top 15 category because the drops take out a good portion of his statistics. Hopefully Matthew Golden is, legit. He's drafted first round. Hopefully he proves it. And defensively, I just hope that we are not a soft shell crab in the middle of the field again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be aggravating if that's the case, but I think with the pass rush, boosted up a little bit, especially if Van Ness does take that next step like they've kind of been talking about in practice and stuff. Like, this could be a lot of fun. So, between that and trying to stop, Gibbs and Montgomery over there, it's gonna be a fun game. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good test.
Yeah.
Hopefully we pass.
Yep. But yeah, outside of that, I guess we'll kind of wait and see. I'm still working on the Madden 25 video. I'm most of the way done editing. I'm kind of working through the northern divisions right now, so hopefully that'll be up next week. And we're planning on doing the post reaction. So we'll record Sunday night. We're recording this Saturday night for Sunday morning because it was supposed to be Friday night for Saturday, but your boy fell asleep on the couch after work, and that screwed up the recording schedule. So I'm an old man now. Whatever. But
yeah, I texted this guy at 8:30 p.m. and I didn't hear from him again.
Legitimately, I fell asleep, on the couch, just looking like an old grandpa with my head up. And I woke up and it was like 1:30, and I was like, damn. And then I walked outside to take out my trash, and my neighbor was outside. And I didn't even get back in the house until like closer to 3 in the morning, so that kind of sucked up. My legs are still itching like crazy from all the mosquito bites. But yeah, but that's the plan right now. We'll do the recording for, the post-game reaction tomorrow night. Well, today, since this video is going out on Sunday. And hopefully we'll have it out Monday for you. And, in the meantime, if you like this, feel free to help out the channel by throwing the like on there. Comment what your predictions are if you're seeing it before the game, and if you're seeing it after the game, hopefully it's a go pack go. Yeah, and other than that, I don't really think I have anything else right this second, so 1-0, baby. Happy to get that win on Madden right now.
Let's go!
What's bad too is like I feel like I'm still far behind right now on Madden, so we'll hopefully continue to do this during the season and get some wins while recording. But yeah, in the meantime, go Pack go. See you next time.